Good morning. Today we're going to build a gate through this fence. If you want to see how we did that, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. It's hole digging time, but this ground's not as easy as the other ground I've been working with. I put water in the hole, kind of soften it a little bit. Some kind of clay that just about has turned into rock. Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday 382. Our like 18th week of our 8th year. I've been talking about, got a lot of fence repairs to do. Of course, it's been too hot. But fall's coming up, of course, and we got to be ready for that. And to be ready for that, I need to have a gate where I can get to the easily get to the outside of the worst part of my fence. I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. And to that end, I've decided to put a gate in. And while we're at it, we'll just go ahead and fix that section of fence, and I'll show you how I'm going to be fixing all the rest of it. You won't believe the goat rope. This is another project I did before I did Memphis Mondays, and I don't know how this got screwed up. But you're going to be pretty amazed. Okay, but you're not going to be amazed if we don't knock off the chit-chat and get to work. This fence started out, it didn't have all these 4x4 posts. I think there's about 30 of them. It only had about 5 4x4 posts down through there, because those fence sections were originally just attached to a fairly new woven wire fence that went along there. And for some reason I thought that was a good idea. Here's a part of that old woven wire fence. Now, I must have figured out that just attaching the fence to this woven wire fence was a bad idea, because for this back part, I installed 4x4 post and did it that way. I just installed this fence behind this other fence. Now for the amazing part. Now, I can't defend this, don't know how it happened, because even an idiot wouldn't do this, but apparently I had some reason to do it. These fence sections don't come out even at the posts. Can you believe it? So they all come out just sort of flopping in the breeze between the two posts. I guess my idea was I was going to reinforce it with this 2x material, since these are kind of crappy cross members anyway. But this is totally unsatisfactory. But here you can see this whole thing is a joke. Stringers are too narrow. These are pre-made sections, and they're all going to have to be replaced. They're sagging, bending, warping. Boards are popping right off in some places. Look at here. Here I don't even have I haven't even sistered in a brace. And then to make matters worse, I installed the fence way too close to the ground. Well, over time the ground is raised up a little bit, and now it's put pressure on the bottoms of the boards and caused the boards to warp. Most of the boards now are sitting right down in the dirt. They weren't that way when I first put them in, but they are now. Probably because the stringers themselves have all warped. So my plan here is to install a 4x6 post right here, tear out this, install a gate, tear out this section of fence and repair it correctly. So that'll give us a start. And one of the reasons I picked this particular place to put the gate in is that this post right here is fairly plumb. So if I can get that one plumb and close into the fence, it'll be golden. Now this is kind of convenient here. Since I'm up against this fence, I was able to put this little corner bracket in here to keep this thing plumb and square. Okay, I guess we can put some concrete down the hole. I got that post in. Now what I like to do, instead of hauling this dirt off from the hole, I take and just rake it out on the grass, and it'll dry out, and then the rain will just soak it right into the soil. And if you spread it kind of far and wide, you won't get any mud or anything like that. So this is our opening here. In fence terms, I think that's called a gap. And what we have is 42.5 inches between our two posts. This is our main, this is our 4x6. The gate will be hanging from this, and this would be our latch pole over here. Now I'm not going to tear this fence out until I actually get the frame of the gate built. Let's go take a look at the design. Here's a kind of design I'm using. Kind of build a box frame. Going to put metal braces in the corners. We'll put this cross member in here, and I'm going to double up the 2x4s on this hinged side, and then the stringers will go on the outside. Now the problem with this gate, I don't even recommend it for a light people gate like we're building, but I'm doing it anyway. It's really heavy, and it's going to use a lot of 2x4s. That small gate over there is going to use 7 treated 2x4s, which is outrageous and dumb. But we're going to do it anyway. Let's go look at the design. Well, I got I finished this air conditioner job. This is from last week. We hadn't got the trim in yet. I put the trim on, reinstalled some Gedunk, reinstalled my drum sander, and pretty much got things cleaned up. I've got all the dimensions and the building scheme and everything all lined out on paper, of course. I tried to make it bigger for you, but that didn't work either. So I put together a little mock-up here to show you what we're going to be doing. So we'll just look at the top edge. They're both the same on both ends. Here's our angle pieces. So this is our top piece of going there like that. And then these corner braces will go on. And then I got this doubling plate up here so that my hinges have a firm foundation. And then this will be my diagonal brace right here. Go up in that corner, and it'll be attached with screws through the outside. And then these stringers go on the outside. These corner braces go on the inside. These will go on the outside. And that's where the fence pickets will be attached to. Now this whole scheme takes way too much wood. Since these are going to be more than 48 inches, it's going to take a full 2x4 to get these vertical pieces. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 2x4s. And then these are less than 48, so I'll get 2 out of these. So that's 4, 5 for the top and bottom, 6, and 6.5. So it's going to take me 7 2x4s. Okay, let's make some sawdust. Now I got all the parts laid out here. What I'm doing is I'm tacking all the corners together using these 3-inch lag screws. They're exterior grade. I got screws going in this way and this way, and I'm going to have a corner brace. Now what I'm doing here is installing the angled corner braces. Now the point of this is these corner braces aren't really going to prevent racking on their own. The main purpose of these is to keep the joint together. As you recall, on that other gate repair job we had 3 or 4 weeks ago, the gate failed because one of the joints came loose. Well, we're making sure that that doesn't happen. Talk a little bit about the position of the angle brace. If your door has an angle brace, it always starts from the left-hand corner over on the hinged side and goes up to this far corner. Okay? Now the reason it works, and the reason that first, I'll tell you how it works. You know, this thing is in compression, so it can't move. You know, it's not going to move up here, and so this edge right here can't fall down. As a matter of fact, you, in theory, you know, if you do a mind experiment and just erase, if you just made your door like that, you can see that it's not going to sag. This part of the door is really just along for the ride. Now, all doors and gates aren't like that, but sometimes you see like barn doors and country style deals where they'll have a Z brace, something like that, and then they'll have another brace here. But the same theory, I'll put a brace diagonally right here. So now you get the same effect. And you can even do the same mind experiment. Get rid of the rest of the gate, and you see it's not going to fall. Let's go take a look at the real world. Here's the real world. I got it down here with a 30-degree angle on it, 30-degree at that end. I'll attach it with lag bolts, but it'll also be attached and stabilized in place with the stringers that are going, 3 stringers that are going to go across here for the pickets. What else did I miss? Oh, this has diminishing effects once it gets beyond 45 degrees. If you get much beyond 45 degrees, it no longer works because this thing being no longer in compression, rather it's going to tend to bend. So keep it less than 45 degrees. Okay, I'll go ahead and put these lag bolts in and we'll start worrying about the stringers. Okay, we're out here at our prototype gate. This is a gate we fixed up a few weeks ago. We just installed this this angle brace here. What we're going to install now are what are called the rails, or horizontal rails, or cross members. I call them stringers sometimes, but I think their official name is rails. And the rails are what the pickets, these are called pickets, are attached to. You can think of the gate as really just a duplication of the fence but it's just been reinforced and hinged. So you have rails on the fence and you have rails on the gate. Okay, let's go install those rails. Here I am attaching the rails to the frame here. Now some styles of gates you don't use rails, you just attach the pickets directly to the frame, the cross members and the angled brace. Well, I got the rails on there. Now what I'm worrying about is the hinges. Take a look at the hinges. I like to use these regular door hinges. This isn't, it's not my idea. I saw some other gate guy doing it. Seemed like a good idea to me. I use this little gadget here to center the holes. It's got the little round thing that centers in that hole, and then you'll plunge the bit in and it puts the hole directly in the right place. Just a quick word about the fasteners I'm using. These are the fasteners that came with the hinges, and these are the fasteners I'm using. Quite a difference, huh? Are they showing up? Yeah. These, I've had problems with these screws that come with the hinges. They're pretty strong, all right, but they rust. These are exterior construction screws here. This is how this thing works. See, it's got a little plunger kind of deal. That thing in the blade comes out. I've zoomed you in so you can see it. I've installed this 1/2-inch cleat all along the edge of where my hinges are going to go. And what I'm going to do is clamp the whole thing to my fence post, and this will provide the right amount of gap. But I think these hinges are too close together. I'm going to move this one down here and this one up here. And here you can see the setup with that spacer in there. If that post is plumb and my fence frame is square, then the frame is also going to be level. Okay, now I just got to repeat the process, and put those screws in there. Starting to rain out here. I'm going to go ahead and put those screws in and I'll get back. I've been letting this, I've been buying this stuff, this deck wood, or this fence wood, a little as I go along, and keeping it out here on this back shed roof to dry out. It's much easier to work with. Deck wood and fence wood, they often store it outside. I think the theory is that it's going to be used outside anyway, so it doesn't matter. Well, I think that's a faulty theory because it's heavy, it's hard to work with, curl up on you when it dries and you don't know it. See, if you got a bad piece of wood and you air dry it, if it curls up on you during the drying process, you know you got a bad piece of wood. But if you put it in wet, you'll never know. I'm using 2-inch lag bolts to attach these fence pickets. They're originally put together at the factory. This fence, these fence sections put together with ring shank nails, and but I've had trouble with the fence falling apart, and I can't even blame them for it because of my faulty construction. This is pretty routine. I just go through in another video, I'll go through the spacing on this and all that. But we're about out of time. Now I got one of these fancy gate latches. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody's installed these. They never seem to work right. They're always out of adjustment. And right when you need it, it doesn't work. I got it, but we ain't using it. Next time you're visiting your grandfather's farm, check out one of the outbuildings. Check out one of the outbuildings that's like 100 years old. And you'll find out the door is secured just like this. And that'll be there in 200 years. Well, we got our gate built and installed for Memphis Monday 383. This thing will last 10,000 years. It's made out of all treated lumber, all hot dip galvanized fasteners. Steel in the corners, You know, we raised the fence up. You know, I think we're gonna get some good service out of it. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 383. Went through all the steps of building a gate, a heavy-duty gate with that sort of duplicates the fence itself. If you, I was trying to think of any other gate videos we had where we made a different kind of gate, and we do have one, at least one that I can remember. I think it's called a garden gate or something, and that's where we use the Z pattern instead of the rails and the heavy-duty construction. But I think we're going to get good service out of that. We took the time to dry that wood out, so we had some good material to work with. Actually, I screwed it all together, put a level on it, or put a tape measure on it, and it was completely square. I didn't even have to fiddle with it. So that's a good start. But the really good start is making sure that your hinge pole and your latch pole are plumb. Because if they're not plumb, you know, it's a non-starter. Because you only got, you know, you have 5/8 of an inch on one side and an inch on the other. And if there's any, you know, if there's any discontinuity between those two poles, you're backing up. All right, like, favorite, and share on all the stuff you on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.